Mr. Chairman, distinguished members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today to offer my comments surrounding the use of security clearance system as a method of intimidation and retaliation, and in my case, DI removal of my security clearance based on my protected disclosures of information to the 9/11 Commission and to Congress regarding Operation Able Danger. Many of us take seriously our oath of office to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We demonstrate our commitment by decades of service to this country, trying to conduct operations to ensure our citizens are protected. There are officers within the bureaucracy who abandon their oath of office and instead become focused on a strategy of self-preservation, of obstruction of accountability. A culture now exists in which leaders with this abhorrent set of values are in charge of large portions of the intelligence community. It was our missteps before 9/11 that materially contributed to our failure to detect and neutralize the 9/11 attacks. With disclosure of able danger information to the 9/11 Commission and to members of Congress was not the only factor in the revocation of my clearance. It is my judgment and the judgment of others that is the primary reason DI made such an obvious and justifiable effort to remove and silence me. It is notable that I've been requested, as Congressman Weldon pointed out, to speak in front of the House Armed Services Committee to provide a top-secret full disclosure testimony on the Able Danger operation tomorrow. Let me be up front here. I am no Boy Scout. I was not hired as an intelligence officer because I hung out at the Christian Science reading room. My job is to get information using tried and true intelligence methodologies, techniques that go back to the dawn of civilization. I've been trained to take risks, to create high-risk, high-gain operations, which I did successfully for 20 years. My awards and accolades have been provided to the committee for your background, and according to my legal counsel, until I disclosed the Able Danger information, I was a rock star. DI arbitrarily removed me from active intelligence officer status in June of 2004, where this process began. It was my work as a chief of DIA's Special Mission Task Force back in 1998 that I became involved with Able Danger. My officers and I were working at the cutting edge of technology and DoD black operations. Most of all of my operations and operational records remain classified, as most of the operations and the capabilities we established are still ongoing and being utilized in the war on terrorism. I was accepted a recall to active duty after the 9/11 attacks, took command of an operating base and deployed to Afghanistan twice. During the deployment to Afghanistan in October 2003, I made my first protected disclosure to Dr. Philip Zelikow, the staff director of the 9/11 Commission, regarding Able Danger and the failures of DIA and other DoD elements to maximize the intelligence, information, and promise of the project. I wish to emphasize 4 key points. I have made protected disclosure starting in October of 2003 regarding Able Danger, a pre-9/11 operation designed to identify and conduct offensive operations against al-Qaeda. It was these protected disclosures first made to the 9/11 Commission that I believe is the basis for DIA's adverse actions against me. I revealed the fact that there were internal DoD and DIA failures regarding 9/11. It was a factor that resulted in the allegations being drummed up against me starting in March of 2004. The 3 allegations that DIA tried to use against me were first related to an attempt to thinly veil administrative issues being tied to the Uniform Code of Military Justice's criminal issues. There is a clearly defined process for criminal issues. These allegations never once rose anywhere close to that level. In addition, they were never, according to DoD personnel security guidelines, supposed to be used as a clearance adjudication issues. The 3 allegations used by DA for the basis of their attempt to earn my career are the follows. Undue award of the Defense Meritorious Service Medal. DI claimed I received an unlawful award unduly, despite the fact the award was for, amongst other things, Able Danger. I provided classified officer evaluation reports and other supporting documents showing that the award was due. There was no evidence in the DIA IG report that I did anything wrong. To the contrary, it showed I'd followed the process I was given by the chain of command. I wear the award today on my chest. You can see it. The Army chose to not take any adverse action against me. Misuse of a government phone, second issue. Misuse of a government phone to $67. During the time I was in command of an operating base where I had accessed and ran millions of dollars of equipment and more than a dozen personnel, they did an investigation of my command. The only thing they could find is that over an 18-month period, I would periodically program a government phone to forward phone calls to my personal mobile phone so they could stay in touch with me on weekends for a charge of 25 cents for every call forwarded, accumulated over 18 months. Here in the local area, sir, I ran a base which I can't get into, which was another organization. Yes, sir. It was, yeah. Last issue, filing a false voucher for $180. I attended Army Command and General Staff School at Fort Dix, New Jersey, a requirement for promotion to Lieutenant Colonel. Despite this being a wholly legal claim for mileage, DIA, which DIA processed through their system legally, I was told that by the DIAIG that I falsely stated the claim, even though there's clear evidence, and I obviously got promoted to Lieutenant Colonel. They said that because it was no expense to the government, it was an illegal claim, although I could have easily filed it on my income tax had it been rejected by the government. To summarize the allegations, the total alleged loss to DOD was $250. $250. The DIA Inspector General did falsely, without evidence, make conclusions to the investigation of wrongdoing which could not be supported. DIA then took these false allegations, embellished them, and went about resurrecting allegations which go back to high school, where I disclosed on a 1986 polygraph regarding some pins. 1986 polygraph that I disclosed. This was not an investigation, and it goes back 30 years. DI's allegations were refuted repeatedly on 3 separate occasions. In writing, in April of 2005, in a oral statement in June of 2005, and again in my final appeal in November 2005, all to no avail. These issues were offered in writing. They've been offered to the committee in writing, so you can review them yourself. One of the most egregious rejections was they rejected a DSS Special Senior Agent's statement in writing saying that she investigated and refuted these allegations prior to 1995. Despite Army's clearing me the wrongdoing, I was promoted Lieutenant Colonel. Let me conclude. I became a whistleblower not out of choice, but out of necessity. Many of us have a personal commitment to the truth and to Okay, sorry. I became a whistleblower not out of choice, but out of necessity. The necessity to tell the truth. The commitment to defend this country is not only simply going into combat, but actually trying to fight the bureaucracy which has slowed us down in many instances. I have tried to expose the truth of the 9/11 issues, 9/11 attacks, which I will hopefully provide more information tomorrow. There is a need to hold legitimately individuals accountable for their actions or inaction regarding clearances and security clearance system. There should be, I believe, an independent IG which looks at issues, and also a must-issue system which shows, some ability to issue a person a security clearance and retain it as long as there's no allegations against them, and establish, if you will, a list of penalties for minor discretions which could be used objectively for either an SES or a sergeant, no matter what that is. Anyway, thank you for allowing me to share with you the information regarding the DI retaliation against me regarding my disclosures of able danger information.
Thank you, Colonel, for your statement. Thank you both who have testified so far for your service to our military.